Guess who's back to run his mouth again?
Scrolling. I can't stop it. Scrolling.
Speaking of running my mouth, I run my mouth all the time over on patreon.com/AdrianExpression. I just put up the latest episode of my podcast, and it is entitled "O que irmos feel," okay? Obviously in reference to everything that's going on. Consider checking it out, especially since YouTube definitely does not like when I talk about these issues, but I literally cannot help it. Also, I'm gonna be putting in many ways that you can help, from donating to bail funds, mutual funds, other ways that you can support. I'm gonna put all of that in my description box. So if you're not physically in the streets protesting or anything, you can still be fighting, you can still help while staying home or while using the internet. So just look out for that in my description box, and we're going to get right into everything that is going on. Now, while Roland Ray literally took his ass to protest and was like rolling back and forth in front of the police officers, just like, yeah, very much like her.
We out here? Yeah. Say it.
Black Lives Matter.
Say it louder. Oh, what? Oh, what? I'm not moving. It's nothing going on. Yeah, go around. Purr. Go around. It's nothing going on. It's 2020. I'm out here in a wheelchair on battlefield. I knock all y'all down.
While he was doing all that, representing for so many communities at one time, your favorite rappers, our favorite black celebrities are out here looking stupid. They are looking so stupid. I don't know, maybe a lot of people are under this impression that celebrities, simply just because of the fact that they're celebrities, they have more intelligence or they're just better people. I don't know if people are under that impression, but every time, it seems like every time I wake up, every time I scroll, every time I look around, it's another one of our celebrities saying some dumb ass shit. Now, Trina, the things that Trina was saying and the way that she was saying them, it was so disgusting. And one of the reasons why I think it's so disgusting is because wasn't her ass just in Walmart she was called the N-word, and she was making this big ass ruckus, but now she can't understand why. Now she is being purposefully, willfully ignorant. She can't understand why protesters are out there shaking shit up. Shake it. They're shaking it up, okay? I'm gonna let you hear some of the things that she had to say.
They need to make the curfew at 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's how I keep everybody off the streets, these animals off the streets that are running around in Miami-Dade County acting like they have escaped from a zoo. Lock them up at 5 p.m. so the streets can be nice and clean. That's how I feel.
These people ain't been working.
Okay.
They about to lose
Unfortunately,
their
a lot
mind.
of people don't have jobs. I agree with that.
And they about to lose their mind.
We all about to lose our mind.
And just because one person.
They run. So today their minds are all back. So everybody's minds is back today. Good.
Ain't nobody tear up no city.
That means tear up. That means run through and tear up our stores and burn down our stuff and break in our stores and go and tear up Bayside Marketplace and tear up my friend's shop that has a son and a kid to take care of her family. You go demolish her shop.
Now I think that she's not the only one, but she definitely reflects a lot. Like the things that she was saying definitely reflects a lot of what especially our black celebrities. I'm focusing on the black celebrities, especially what our black celebrities have been saying. I think it's extremely disrespectful for you to be sitting up there. Your whole career, your whole wealth was built off of the very people that you're trying to disrespect. And that's why I never understand, and I know I've been repeating this, but it's really annoying for so many people to be like, oh yeah, build up wealth in the black community, build it up. And these people have extracted wealth from the community. They've built, whether it's music, whatever they're doing, rapping, acting, whatever it is. The only reason why they have that wealth is because of this community. And you're getting, and instead of coming down here saying, hey, what do you need? Do you need help? How can we spread the message? Because your black ass will benefit from whatever they're doing as well, right? Instead of your ass with all this money that y'all claim to have, instead of you saying, hey, how can I help? What is the mission? Even if you don't have the full vocabulary that you think you need to have in order to get whatever message across, like you have all this money, everybody bragging about, oh, I got a condo on my wrist and my neck and all this money. So where is it at? You don't get to consistently get clout, money, all that shit off of the community. And when the community is saying, hey sis, we are under attack, y'all gonna act like this money separates y'all black ass from us? It doesn't, boo. It doesn't, boo. If we're keeping our feet on these white capitalists' necks, our feet should be placed even harder on those black capitalists, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because all this money y'all claim people rise to these types of places because they need to play chess and not checkers. They have to infiltrate the system. They ain't doing that. A lot of times when they get all this money and wealth, they try to hoard it and they try to be as close to whatever they think is power as possible, and whatever threatens that, they have an issue with. And it's crazy that they even see it as a threat. Y'all have all types of insurance talking about, oh, well, my friend business, she going through. It's just like y'all are quicker to criticize what these people are doing in the name of protecting their people from further death. Okay, that has been a historical issue. Y'all are quicker to do that, knowing that y'all ain't gonna miss money. And if you claim that y'all have all this coin and money, you shouldn't be that pressed, right? Y'all are quicker to drag them than y'all are to stand up for what is actually going on. And that's why, you know, when the dust settles, we're going to remember. We're gonna remember how some of you achieved certain statuses by being lifted up by the same community that is telling you right now we're going through it, and you're acting like this coin it will really separate you. And I promise you, the police ain't gonna look at no Trina and be like, oh, well, she got coin, you know, she got money, so let's avoid her ass. It don't work like that. It's crazy for her to be talking about, oh yeah, talking about that protesters like they animals, saying that you know, the police need to move the curfew up even further and lock these animals up since they're out here. It's just like, do you really think that this money that you think you have separates you from being subject to the same animalistic stereotypes that you know what I mean, that a lot of black women have been having to endure for a long ass time? Do you really think that you're gonna escape that shit with them petty ass hundreds of thousands that you think you have in your account, girl? It don't work like that, boo. It don't work like that. I mean, I'm seeing John Boyega over here screaming, using his voice.
My brothers and sisters in America, listen, we love you. We with you. We love you. We love you. You're not alone. You've given us so much opportunities. You, man, have done so much for the world and so much for the culture. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here. You're not alone. You will never be alone. This is a lifelong commitment. Even though we're protesting after this day, we will be a part of this for a lifelong. It's a lifelong commitment.
So I'm seeing Keke Palmer out there. It's just like, there's so many examples. And the fact that y'all have all this coin, you have all these resources, and you don't want to do a little damn research, it really shows who y'all actually are, and we're gonna remember, okay? We're gonna remember. I see some of y'all acting like, oh, well, these videos were edited. That's not what I actually said, girl. We're not stupid. And then y'all gonna come out talking about, oh, Kaya, she's ready to drag. I'm not interested. And that's the same thing with Umar too. I'm not interested in what no transphobic, homophobic bigot has to say. I'm not, okay? So just because Trina's getting dragged, Kaya can get dragged too. All right, and since we're over here talking about the music industry, I wanted to bring up the fact that these K-pop stans are taking down some apps, and I am screaming. Y'all already know these K-pop stans, anytime that you post anything, it could be, hey guys, what's up? They're going to swarm underneath your tweet, and they're gonna put a fan cam of their favorite band or their favorite artist. And it doesn't apply half the time. The only time it really pisses me off is when it's like a super serious issue and they come in. But other times I just think that shit is hilarious, right? So the K-pop girls, Dallas PD specifically, they put out this app that said if you know anybody who's out here protesting, rioting, looting, whatever, upload this shit to this app so that we can basically track their ass down and find them. These K-pop girls These K-pop girls came in and they flooded the app so much with fan cams. They flooded that app that they had to shut that shit down for a while and take it down. I said, this is how we use this shit. This is how we come together, girl. And a lot of the news has been very, very discouraging, and it's gonna continue to be. But to see our reaction, to see so many people, I'm gonna talk about the way the LAPD was dragged in a minute, girl. But to see like everybody come together, everybody who feels passionate about this, even just speak up online or whatever it is, seeing that was very helpful to my mental health this week, like, cause I was going through it, as I'm sure many of you were as well. So I want us all to be careful about how we approach, especially those of you who are on the front lines, like how we approach these police officers and how we internalize this propaganda that they're doing. So a lot of times I've been seeing online that these cops are taking a knee, and they think it's just interesting how taking a knee, a lot of people had an issue with that, but once the cops start doing it, it's just like, oh, well, now what more do you want? I was just like, what are you talking about? That's propaganda. And the reason why it's propaganda, I explained this on my podcast as well, is because when it comes down to it, When their boss say, hey, get your ass up and start shooting, that's exactly what they're gonna do. It is a bigger system. As long as they're still militarized, as long as they're still over-policing our communities, as long as the same policies are still in place, as long as they still are recruiting the same type of violent, abusive ass people on their forces, all of this propaganda bullshit does not fucking matter. And the reason why I'm saying y'all have to be careful is because I've seen multiple instances of these police departments taking a knee just to bring y'all closer to them and to put y'all in a more vulnerable position. Y'all, I saw some protesters, oh yeah, we gotta take a knee right now. They took a knee in front of the police officers while those police officers were taking a knee, and the police officers got their ass up and started shooting tear gas in the crowd. So it's like, do not be, I saw someone tweet like, why would X-Men start hugging Sentinels? Like, do not be fooled by something that's literally only being used for optics, only being used for photo ops, to push to the media and say, hey, things are not bad. I don't know what y'all are protesting for. As soon as the photos are taken, they get their ass up and start shooting tear gas into the crowd. That's the first thing. The second thing is we have to remember that a lot of these people who have an issue with, oh my goodness, y'all are just tearing up the community. Now, of course, they're not taking into account the outside agitators, none of that. A lot of these people who have an issue with how loud we're being right now also had an issue with people like Colin Kaepernick taking a goddamn knee. I saw the 49ers, NFL, all these people posting these shitty ass, nothing ass, empty ass black squares, okay, while they blackballed Colin Kaepernick for kneeling, tried to prevent people from kneeling as well. A simple fucking peaceful gesture, peaceful protest. People had an issue with that. But so now who can't hear must feel. Now we loud, huh? And that's why, like, I see some of these videos of people like trying to explain our plight to these people. They don't care. Certain people do not care. Do not put yourselves in vulnerable positions to try and explain some shit to somebody who's been told you, who's been demonstrated, to a system who has already shown you that they don't give a fuck about you. You know what I mean? We have to pick and choose our battles very carefully. I also found it interesting that everybody, just because Governor Cuomo said a few cute things to y'all was just like, oh yeah, Governor Cuomo for president. And y'all acted so surprised when he out here praising the NYPD. I'm just like, it is the whole system. We cannot be fooled and tricked into, oh well, he's gonna stand up for us. It is the entire, it is the way that the system works and the way that it is leveraged and used against us. At the end of the day, when the shit hits the fan, they're going to protect their goddamn selves, okay? I want y'all to know that apparently the 3 other officers who were involved in George Floyd's killing will be charged with aiding and abetting murder. Now, there are also reports saying that they moved Derek's charge from 3rd degree to 2nd degree murder. I want 1st degree, but some people were saying that it might be very easy for him to squeeze out of 1st degree. And I think those other cops should be also charged with murder, in my opinion. But to me, if they all get off, this all was just a performance. I just hope that they know that if that's what happens, it's not gonna be pretty for anybody. It's not gonna be pretty for anybody. I just hope that they get their shit together. Now, I wanna thank some of these Twitter accounts like Key Williams and Cheska Lee for posting some of this stuff on Twitter that I'm about to show you. So the LAPD, let me make sure I get it completely correct. The LAPD Police Commission, they were meeting on Zoom online, and they allowed people from the community to talk on this live stream on YouTube while they sat there and watched, or pretended to watch, or pretended to care. When I tell you that these reads that the community members were given online to especially the LAPD Chief Moore, I was in here crying, laughing. And I know at the end of the day, we have to do more than just dragging that ass online. Like, serious, actual systemic change has to come. I know that, but sis, we needed some laughter, sis. They got their ass dragged. Somebody said, let me, they came for Chief Moore's eyebrows.
I'm a white resident of Los Angeles with the distinct displeasure of living in Mitch O'Farrell's Council District 13. I support the demands of Black Lives Matter. Chief Moore, you have the most racist eyebrows I've ever seen. Keep them still and show some goddamn respect when you're being called out. We know you meant what you said last night, and I'm calling on you to be fired without pay.
Since they said that his eyebrows were so racist and they need to keep them still, keep those eyebrows still when you're being called out and have some goddamn respect. Let me tell you something, when these white people get to dragging, there's almost nothing that gives me so much joy when they use that can I speak to the manager energy and they direct it towards bigotry and racism. That's the type of, oh, when I hear white people drag it gets, that shit is so hilarious. And listen to this one.
Listen to the people of Los Angeles. They're not gonna take it anymore. You are all guilty if you don't figure this out. Demilitarize, send the National Guard home. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, each and every one of you, and I want to see you step up.
Just said, y'all need to step up. Yes, God, bitch. You better get them, Kristen. Somebody on Twitter said the opposite of a Karen is a Kristen. They use those powers for different reasons. I am getting my life. I want you to listen to how this particular man used up all of his 30 seconds. It was like poetry.
Black Lives Matter, defund the police. I find it disgusting that the LAPD is slaughtering peaceful protesters on the street. I had 2 friends go to the protest in Beverly Hills a couple days ago, and the protest was peaceful until the police showed up with their excessive violent force, shooting rubber bullets and throwing tear gas. Is this what you think of protecting and serving? Because I think it's bullshit. Fuck you, Michael Moore. I refuse to call you an officer or a chief because you don't deserve those titles. You are a disgrace. Suck my dick and choke on it. I yield my time. Fuck you.
I mean, as soon as he started, he said defund the police, Black Lives Matter in under like 1.5 seconds. He was using his time wisely. Okay, he had something to say and he needed to get it out. I don't know what LAPD was thinking. They did this shit for a whole, like, I think 9-8 hours. I don't know what the purpose of this was, because honestly, in my opinion, they were looking at their phones. They don't give a fuck, right? So I'm trying to think, like, was it optics? Was it like, okay, we can put this up to pretend like we care, or to make it seem like we care about the community? I'm not sure what it was. All of this posturing and shit doesn't really mean anything. I'm glad they got dragged, but until they start defunding that shit, systematic changes happen. This was cute, but we definitely are gonna need some more, right? After all of this depressing news that we've been experiencing, the way that all communities, all these different types of communities, from the K-pop community to some of these angry ass white people to obviously, you know, black people, minorities, the way that some of us are coming to fucking together, that shit was nice to see. Just when you start to feel like a lot of this shit is so hopeless, like you get to see the humanity in so many different areas come together for a single purpose, and that is definitely a bit encouraging. So hopefully I was able to make some of this news a little bit easier for y'all to dissect. I know it has been a long ass week and we ain't even done with that shit yet, but our voices are definitely loud. If you are ever doubting it, our voices continue to be loud as hell, as they should be, okay? So yeah, please, please, please protect your mental health. Like I said, take social media breaks if you need to. Continue to do the things that make you happy, and the hobbies and the art and whatever it is that you do if you want to help. There are many ways that you can, so do not think that you have to do it in one way. Check out my Patreon, obviously, at patreon.com/AdrianExpression. I love you all so much. And make sure that unlike Chief Moore's dusty ass, earthworm built ass eyebrows, you have a good goddamn evening.